Good Sunday morning, Michael Walsh here, Norwal Farms with Roger Norgal. We worked a lot on the driveway the last 2 days. Hauled a lot more stone in, have it built up and banked. They have to finish the riprap over here. They buried the drain tile all the way down to here. Then they'll put a riprap in here for a drainage bed so it doesn't wash all the soil away. And then they hauled some topsoil in here, and we'll have to sow some oats on that. Get that going. So much nicer. This should work. About 3/4 of an inch of rain today, or last night and today. Must have been some wind up here. The hay's blown over. Wrinkle in the hay harvesting. The farmer I've lined up to bale it for me and caught it called me and left a message last night that his baler knotter isn't working. It's only tying two knots out of 4 on the bales. So he worked on it all day yesterday, couldn't figure it out, so he's going to call a technician out tomorrow, and so that's going to delay it by a day or 2. I don't know anybody else to cut it. He said if he can't get the technician out, then there's another farmer that he can borrow his baler to bale it. So we're probably gonna mow hay Wednesday or Thursday and then bale Thursday or Friday and wrap it then. So hopefully everything works out. But like I say, you make a plan and then life happens, so you have to adjust accordingly. We almost have the drain finished. It's the culvert's in. We gotta finish the riprap coming down here. And then on this side, there's no riprap here where the drain exits, so it's washing out into the field. Not as bad as it was in the past. And I did get the oats sown on that. And then yesterday, where the topsoil is over the drain coming down, I sowed oats there. So the rain's gentle enough. It's not washing a lot away. There was a little bit of wash on that strip there, but not terrible. But you can see it's exiting here along the field. So just got to get the oats established and get the riprap in there so that quits draining down here. Actually, that goes across, but much better than it was. The drain's functioning well, driveway's doing well. So actually the topsoil was a bit dry, and the rain has come nice and slow. I don't know about last night, but today it's nice and slow. So giving it a chance to soak in, and that'll really help those oats germinate. The sky is lightening up back there, so I think the rain's pretty well through. The front went through last night and this morning. This evening we are putting the weaned lambs in dry lot, and then we're going to combine the ewes with lambs still on them with the weaned ewes and does, and they're going to go out in that big wetlands there, and that'll last them at least a week or more, because there's like three sections combined, and we won't have to rotate them as much. So we're going to sort the sheep. We separated all the lambs from the ewes. They're going to stay in dry lot. And then we put the lambs over with the kids, and then we had to put Heidi and the rams and Joel in with the lambs and kids. Then we called the does and the ewes up from the hill pasture, and they're going to go out with the ewes and lambs we let out there. There's 2 more ewes getting weaned today, and then there was an open ewe, and then there's a ewe that's supposed to be pregnant and having lambs in September, so they're going out with these guys too. A lot of shuffling around. Welcome to the chaos. We've got everybody combined here, and then we'll have to sort these guys back out. Dylan and Callum are out there. They're going to stay with Heidi and the ram and the billy goat. Roger went down to open the gate all the way down there. I'm going to chain it open, and then we'll let these out and head them down that way. There they go. Go! Goats and sheep don't combine. They always separate. Which is fine as long as we got a big enough pasture. If you got them in close, the goats beat up on the sheep. Come on, girls. Let's go. right. Olive's worst nightmare, the goats are back. Yeah, they've got quite a bit of pasture out here. That should work. Finally have everybody sorted and they're all calming down, and lambs are eating some hay tonight. We're going to start them on grain just real slowly. Probably about 1/8 of a pound or just a nibble to begin with, until we get them on full feed. So the next day, the second day, the lambs have been separate from the ewes, and they're much quieter. They've been eating their hay. I've got to measure this trough here, put a plywood top in there because it's too deep for the lambs to reach in. So get a top in there so that's about, oh, maybe 2 inches deep. Put the grain in there for them to eat. Eating hay good. The kids are doing really well. They're eating about 2 pounds of grain per head per day. So they're in really good condition and like the way they're growing. We'll get these guys started on grain. The 6 lambs and 2 goats go to the butcher end of August. So I want to get a little more condition on the lambs. This really hot weather, and then the grass just isn't enough for them. So we'll get them started and have them in good shape by the time they go to market. I had to make an adjustment. It's a rounded in there, so I had to cut the corners off. And then I'm going to set this red feeder underneath the center so it doesn't bow in the middle. And that should work. Made the adjustments. There's a little space on the ends, which is okay, but this is going to serve our purpose. See, it's about the right height. Put the grain in there and they'll be able to reach it. So let's give it a try. These lambs have had no grain at all, so we're just giving them a very light amount, just about 1/8 of a pound per lamb. Just an introduction. Ruminants, you got to be slow to change their diet. These have been strictly on pasture and mother's milk. And the grain changes the pH of the rumen. And if you give them too much grain, they'll get really acidotic, a lot of acid, and then they can get sick and die. So we're just introducing them to it. Actually, I'm encouraged because they're eating it pretty well. The hay is not a major adjustment. Actually, it's better than pasture because it's lower in moisture, so it's more concentrated in nutrients. So, and that was really good hay. It was like almost 22% protein and high digestibility. So that's a good roughage for them. And then get them on this grain, and I'm glad to see them stepping right up there and eating. So we'll get them going, and this will help the fat lambs put on some weight and get them ready for market. The ewe lambs are going to go to their home. The 3 of these 2 here, and wherever the other one is with a short tail, they will go to their new home in about 3 weeks. So they'll go back out on pasture. But this is good. That addition to the trough is working because they can reach it. And only bad thing is you can see one down there on the corner standing on it, and like there. And if they get in there, it's gonna collapse a bit. So I'm gonna move the grain to the side so they don't try to reach. I'm gonna have to get a support for each end to put underneath it, so when we get on it, it won't collapse down. It's going down a little bit, not terribly. It'd just be better if I... 2 additional supports underneath there, 1 on each end, then we've got 1 in the middle, so that gives it good support so it doesn't hurt if they jump up in there. And put a little bit of hay in there that was left over. I filled up the rack even more back there, so I'll have free access. Yeah, it's considerably cooler today after the rain, but it's supposed to heat back up, and it's really humid, so the hot weather kind of puts them off their feet too, but this is good. They're all looking good today. Yesterday this spotted lamb was a little bit gant, just didn't look like it had been eating much, possibly not drinking, but they all look really good today, so I think we're in good shape. Really pleased with the lamb crop. Well, as I said before, I'm really glad to see these guys eating. I was a little concerned the first day because they were just used to pasture, but they're adapting, and I think they're going to do well. There's the 3 ewe lambs side by side, pretty uniform. We have them sold to a nearby neighbor, and then there's 2 large rams in here. That one at the corner, and I think this one right here, he got a tan spot on his neck. And those 2 are sold as breeding rams to a neighbor. They have about 150 ewes in their flock. And these are both out of really good shedding ewes, and that's one thing that they expressed, is they wanted rams that were good shedders, and so the father of these is a good shedder, and the mothers are, so that should really help them out. So we were pleased to be able to sell those to them, and both of those families actually took guardian dog puppies. The ones that are getting the ewes took 2 of them, and the one getting the rams took 1. So that was fortunate to get those placed. Very encouraged to see him eating today. That's a good sign. And I've got free choice hay over there. That hay feeder feed bunk. This is our last bottle baby here on the end, and we stopped his bottle about 3-4 days ago, and then he got weaned day before yesterday, so glad to see him up there munching on the grain, because that'll supply extra protein and carbohydrates for him that he was getting in the milk. So this is encouraging. They'd eaten all their minerals, so I filled that up, and they go through a lot of mineral. That's where they get their vitamin E, selenium, and all the other minerals, calcium, so it's important for them to have access to mineral at all time. So good to see all this going on today. I'm encouraged.